Welcome back. I'm Bruce Wilson, the old dude at the old dude ranch. You can see how muddy my corrals have been, and it's just been a horrible spring here, so I haven't been able to get out there. So we come out here, and it's just a muddy, mucky mess. So that's when I went out the next day. Alright, so we get the tractor and we're hauling some sand. You can see then I brought the tractor out, got some sand hauled in. It's still slick underneath, so I didn't want to really try to mount him, but we are to the point where we want to ride this horse. I really need to. I've been putting it off for about 4 weeks now. We had him there, but you just saw how mud, and I just fought this, and so I want to get a good solid 2 or 3, 4 days in a row I can get on him without any mud and without any issues. So today I really wanted to prepare him. I've been waiting to get on him. You can see now how I've tied the sacks farther back on the saddle to the strings, and he's just not as reacting. The other day he was kicking sky high and just going nuts, and now you can see he's just calmed down. I couldn't have been prouder with him today. He's just come so far. So I'm just out here walking with him. I want him just to feel comfortable with the saddle on. You see I got the blanket on this time. I've got the full saddle. He's all ready to ride. I tried to push him away a little bit there, but he didn't want to go, so heck with it. If he wants to stay connected, I just want to connect with him. I just love how he's being a good buddy, how he's starting to be a good horse. I'll give him rewards now and then now because he's getting so good. And I just don't see any reason to leave the bags on anymore, so I'm going to take one off. He gets a little anxious sometimes still with him, but not bad. Hear my music in the background, my train going by. He didn't like me taking that off too much, so I sent him out. Still got one bag on. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to ask him, are you really done? Do you really want to run? He says, I'll turn. So he didn't come to me, so I turned him. Tell him to go a little bit faster because he didn't come to me. So from a horse who you couldn't get in the pen with, who bucks, kicks, wild, just an absolute terror. You couldn't touch him. You couldn't halter him. He's come so far. I'm just proud of him. I really need to get on him and start the riding under saddle. He's gone through all the intermediate groundwork, and he's just got that down. Or take that back, the beginning groundwork. Now I can really start working on intermediate, where we can work on side passing and things like that. But I don't want to get too far ahead of that because I want him to start getting all the fundamental riding underneath him. But he's been so hyper and hot to get up on his back. That's what we've been working on. So that's why I was using the bags on the saddle. You can see how well connected he is today and how he's really thinking and trying. Just really pleased with that. So I reward him. I rub him. Check his saddle. Check stirrups. Is he going to hold still? Wiggle in the saddle, wiggle everything. I just want to see if he's really calmed down and he's thinking, and if we got rid of all of his reactiveness. Check the saddle on the other side. Now I'm going to do something different here, because since I can't get on him and I still want to act like I ride him and I'm working to ride, I want to teach him how to rein. So I'm coming out here and I'm tying on a D-ring. I got a piece of a cord. It's about a 1/4 inch cord. I love it for elk hunting. I use it everywhere to hang elk. And so I'm going to take that cord, untangle it just like everything else I have. It's a mess, and I don't have all the fancy equipment, but you know, you don't need fancy equipment. You can get by with what you have, and it works just fine. It's really you, not your equipment, your fancy barn, your fancy stalls. So now I'm going to go right through the ring on his bridle. I got his bridle on and I took the rein off. So he's got his bridle on. I unclip the reins. So I go right from the D-ring, right up to the bridle ring. Now I'm going to come from the bridle ring. Well, if I can find it here, I got a little snap hook or a carabiner, snap carabiner. There's the rein I unclipped, and there's feed and bags, and I pack everything. I'm a pack rat. There it is. There's a carabiner. I knew I had one, and I'm just going to clip it, snap it right over the 1/4-inch rope. Now, just that shows you how reactive it is. I bring one little carabiner out he hasn't seen yet, and you see him get excited, like, "What do you have there?" It's just a carabiner. I'm going to snap it on, and I'm going to reach right underneath, and I'm going to put it right through the ring. Normally where I put the breast collar, a strap coming down to the cinch, there's a ring there, and I'm going to snap that on there. I'm going to measure it out here for you. Make sure I get long enough before I cut it. I haven't made it up in advance. Now I got to hunt. Yep. There is more stuff. Somewhere in there's my Leatherman. And got my jammies on today. I don't know why it's too hot, but it was muddy when I started, so I thought I'd throw in the mud, so I threw the jammies on, but I really shouldn't have. It turned out to be a nice day after I got the tractor out there and the mud's cleaned up a little bit. So I'm going to cut the rope to the length I need. Try to find if I can put my Leatherman back in. Now what I want to do is go through, after I've gone through that carabiner, I go back through the bridle on that ring, and I'm going to go up on the D-ring on my saddle on this side. Now, this is called a German martingale. And what I'm trying to do is teach him that bridle's going to pull down. I want him to feel pressure on that snaffle bit that's in his mouth. So if he raises his head, it's going to pull on the snaffle, and he's going to find his own relief. But I want to do it so he can swing his head left and right. I want to do it so that he could find his home. Now you can see a good look at him. There it comes from the D-ring, up to the bridle, and down to the carabiner, back up to the bridle, and then back up to the D-ring. Now I'm going to unhook him, and I don't have him too collected yet. I want him to feel this. This is the first time I've put him in one of these. And we're going to go right back to the exercises we've been doing all day. I want him to get comfortable moving his head left and right with the reins on. So I'm technically riding this horse with the reins and keeping tension on the rein and keeping him collected, and he doesn't even know it. Great way to start rein training when you're not up on top of him yet. I want him to be able to move his head left and right, but I don't want him to throw his head. He did a great job here, so I'm going to give him a little bit of reward. Now I want to see how he does if I move him a little bit, put a little energy in him. I love how he doesn't want to go away from me. He's getting so good at wanting to stay connected. For a horse that wouldn't connect, I can't tell you how well that makes you feel, and that's what we're after. Tidy up here a little bit. There we go. Start moving him off. Got that martingale on him, homemade. That works the best. You won't find a better one. Go buy anything you want. It's not going to work as well. He's staying collected, staying calm. His head's down. He's got rein pressure. Really are preparing this horse for his first ride. Ask him to come. Yep, he's coming. Love that. So now I want to tighten it up a little bit. I hadn't put any pressure, a lot of pressure on it, and you can tighten it as tight as you want to go, but I'm going to pull a little more pressure. I'm going to get him a little bit more collected and get him used to feeling the tug on the reins before I ride him. It's a great way to train him with the reins and get him left and right and pulling and keeping his head collected. So once he thinks that rein is on, he's going to keep his head down and not try to throw. If he doesn't throw his head up, but he doesn't want to learn how to throw his head up, then they don't want to rear and they don't want to buck as much on you, for you. And where this horse loves to buck, he loves to kick, he loves to do all that, he's hyper hot. When I get on him with that rein and I pull on him, I want him to already have learned to drop his head so that he doesn't even think about going up in the air. So now I'm going to ask him to go away. I love. He just does not want to go away. He's even looking at me. Can I come back? Can I come back? I really don't want a round pen. I really don't. I'd rather be with you. So I'm going to push him. I want to push him just a little bit to see how reactive he's going to be with it. See how he's collected. See how he's looking at me. Really wants to come back and connect. He's under full control, just like he would be with a rider with a bridle on. I love that. He's not hot. He's not reactive. He's not fighting the rain. Wow, give him a hand. Yeah, I will, because that's just for him. That's incredible. He wants to come back. I tried to send him. He says no. I'm being a softie because I've worked so hard to collect with him. I'm like, all right, come on in. First day being this collected with that tight of a rein. Great way to get a tight rein. Get him walking with a saddle, with a pad, with a bridle on. And this is how I want him to react when I finally climb on him. Blue's come so far. And just take time, walking. Artificial riding. Let him find that out. You see him licking the bit, chewing on the bit. He's trying to figure that bit out. This is the longest he's had a bit in his mouth moving. I like to round pen him a little bit with the bit in, but here he's, at this collection and at this tightness, he hasn't felt that pressure. Let him figure that bridle out. Ooh, I love that. It's getting really soft on the ground. And if that doesn't make your heart soft and that doesn't make you excited to want to ride this horse and love horses, to see a horse who's come this far be so soft and gentle, I don't know what will, because that's what it's all about with me bonding with animals. This is why I do it right here. I love to ride them, and I love to go through the mountains with them, but just as much as that, I love the groundwork, and people just don't put the groundwork in. That's that foundation, I tell you. If you don't build a foundation on a horse, then they become train wrecks under saddle. If they're not calm and know what to do here, I don't know how you expect them to do it under saddle. And I don't know how you can teach a horse how to rein as good as this martingale will. There's a lot of people can do it, but it's very hard to keep them that collected. Okay, now I took the martingale off. We're going to put the snap-on rein back on real quick. Now we're going to go to flexing. Now he's felt that martingale on him. I want him to remember the flex. There we go, right out of the bit. So now he's been collected, and now we're flexing. If I can keep him collected, I can keep him from rearing his head, I can keep him flexing left and right, I can keep him calm. Great way to know that I have control of him under saddle with the bridle. 5 times minimum each side. He's getting really good at flexing. So I enjoy my music. Got a little country music going right now. Kicking back and just enjoy them. Great day. It's 50 degrees out here finally. It was snowing yesterday. I got 2 inches of snow yesterday. That's where all that water came from the last couple days. And brought all this sand in just so I could get back on him because I hate him to wait too long. I've had to wait so many days. I should have had him ridden by now, but just with the weather I couldn't. I will not, I said this is before, I will not get on a horse on a slick ground. They do something silly, they slip and go down. Even this, where I put this sand down, there's a few wet spots when I was round penning him when I first came out. I didn't show you all that because I showed it 100 times. He'd slip a couple times and almost fell a couple times. And so it's really not safe for me to get on him today, even though it looks good. But I'm tempted with all this sand I hauled in. So now I want to go back to just simulate and get on him. And I normally don't have to use a bucket, but this horse is huge. So I want to get up on him where so I flex his head towards me. I'm going to bend him and lean on him just like I would when I saddle him. I like to tip their head towards me when I get on them. So if they do step out or something, they go in a circle and not bolt off forward. So I teach him how to be comfortable with me off that flex in and then lean on the saddle. And I hold it, release him, and I'm going to just work this today. This is my goal. I've been thrown off doing this a few times with him, and he's getting so much better with this where I can lay on across the saddle. I pet the other side. I rub it away. I do whatever I can to that side. Just going to spend the day today leaning on him, putting a lot of weight, getting him used to me being around his back, up on top of his back. I wiggle the stirrup on the far side, I pat him, I rub his neck while I'm up there. You know, if somebody brought this horse into me today and said, would you hop on it? I would have hopped on it. Or if I'd have been 20 years younger, he's ready to hop on today. But I know his history. I know how big he is. I'm getting a little older, so I'm a little more shy, I admit it. So here I'm just standing in the stirrup, laying across the top of the saddle. He was really good with that, so I got off just to give him a break. He braced a little bit. He's still a little bit shy with you up there. So my goal today is just lay on him as much as I can. Get him used to being up there. Yeah, and yeah, when I was young, the adventure hopping on him today would have been perfect because he's so ready. But I know the ground's a little bit slick under that sand. I know I'm getting a little bit older. I know he can get really hot, but today he was doing so good. And he's starting to walk away with me, so I'm just going to stay with him. I'm just going to hang on to him. Not, he's starting to learn that if he backs off, I don't want to teach him if he backs off, I get off of him. So sometimes you just have to hang on him and walk with him just even as they go. Rub it away and tell him how great he was and how, see, nothing happened. Nothing hurt him because, if you remember, this horse is extremely jumpy. He's extremely spooky. He was extremely sensitive. So I'm just going right back up, just laying on again. Just enjoy the beautiful day. Enjoy the music. I love how he lowered his head there. Rather than throwing his head way up in the air anymore and having his ears pinned back, he's just sitting there relaxed. I'm sitting there relaxed. And that's where I want him. See, if I got off of him, his head came up. I love that. Let's try to step up the stirrup. There we go. Get up on the stirrup. I'm going to lay on him. A little antsy there. I get after him a little bit. Say, nope, that's not what I want you to do. But at least he didn't bolt off. He didn't run off. One more day of this is not going to hurt this horse. You can get out, in my opinion, you can get on him too soon, but you can't. There's nothing wrong with spending an extra couple days. Why? That foundation. I don't want to teach him a bad habit. I don't want them spooky. I don't want, if he learns he can run off all the time and get me off, there's no sense of getting on him. but just got to keep going right back on. Approach and retreating. It's the same kind of idea. Approach, lay on him, tilt his head a little bit to me. There we go. I love it. I love it. I love how he's lowering his head there. There we go. That's what I want, that head to come down. There we go. And I rub it away. He started giving, I gave. I wish I was a little taller, but that's what happens when you get short. Horse is a little bit too big for me, but everybody brings me big horses. My horse is big. This horse is big. Yet I can't see over their back. That's alright. I'm not going to give in, so I'm just going to bend his head to me, and I'm going to hang on the saddle on that side for a minute. He's been walking off, so I'm going to just hang on the saddle and flex his head in and put some weight, just pull, 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 and say, hey, I can do it, not on the bucket, and still put a lot of weight on the saddle. Terrible when you can't see over a horse's back too at all. But he's really being awful calm. You notice he's not taking off, he's not running. He's like, oh, I know this trick, so I'm just going to lead on him farther and stay with him, stay with him. He's starting to want to walk off. And there's two reasons why he's doing that. One is he's getting tired of this. He's looking for relief. He's tired of being me hanging on him. And they do that. After you do a drill or exercise with the horse for a while, they start getting tired and they want to give up. And where he's not tired, he's just tired of thinking. I'm going to stay right with him. Lay on it, lay on it. He did well there, so starting to want to walk off a little bit still. He was standing still at the beginning better, but you see how he's just wanting to get away, so I'm going to just keep hanging on him. Keep petting the other side. There we go. Spank the other side. Get movement like I'm getting on. Don't be bashful and shy. Now's the time not to be bashful and shy. There's something you're afraid to do here, then you're going to be totally afraid to do it up on top of him, and he's not ready. Oh, just love him. I like how he's being quiet, how I'm just sitting there resting on him. That's what I want. Let him come in. I love how he's bringing his head to me, and I'm still just hanging about as best I can, all my weight up off the saddle. And then I give him some relief. Come right back up like I'm up in the saddle. Dang jammy pants, I can't get my foot on them with these. Step up in the saddle and lay across the top. Got his head tilting to me just a hair. That's a beautiful position. Right there, I really could have just got on. That is what I'm looking for. He was ready, but like I said, I'm getting older. That was gorgeous. He's getting ready. I'm getting... Probably tomorrow. Time to get on this horse. If he acts like this, I gotta get on him. But being a bucking horse, and being as hot and reactive, I just don't want to teach him bad habits. I don't want him being hot and crazy, because if he learns he can throw me quickly, I'm going to have my work cut out with him, and that is worse than staying on. If he throws you off right off the bat, oh wow, you got to come back to the groundwork, and it puts you weeks behind. I don't want him that reactive. I want to be able to hang over the top of him, just stay up in the saddle, pet him. Great job there. Great job. Now I did this for hour after hour, seems like today, but it's good for him. You know, just spend the time with them. And they're being this good, you just take the opportunity there. I'm flexing him a little bit. Always go back to flexing, and you mix it up and stir it up a little bit. Step back up in the saddle, lay across. Oh, great job. Rub the other side. Move the stirrup. Rub him. Just get him comfortable with me on his back. So easy right there just to get on. He is ready. The day's coming. But that's what we're looking for. So I'm just staying up there and laying on him for a while. I'm in no hurry, he's no hurry. Good job. Give him a break. Give him a reward. Desensitize him. I did this on both sides. I know I only got a lot of video of it on one side. My camera messed up on the other side. I apologize. But I always do it to both sides. Well, you do it on one side, do it on the other side. Now I'm flexing him again. Got to work on flexing him. I want him comfortable with me on top and flexing. So now I'm flexing him the opposite way. Now he's a little sticky on that, so it's another reason not to get on him today is he was sticky right here. See, I'm pulling on the offside bridle, pulling his head away from me. He's so used to flexing towards me there. I'm flexing him away that he's a little sticky flexing away from me. So I take that bridle around the saddle horn and I pull on it, and I want him to be able to flex her on left and right no matter what side I am. He's very comfortable with me flexing him in my direction. He's not comfortable turning his head away from me. So work on that flexing point. So this is all bridle prep, right? We had the martingale, we had German martingale up there. Now we're flexing away from me with his flexing. He's still stepping back, he anticipating. So I reach the other side and pet him. Now I flex him on, didn't want to flex on the opposite side. There we go, a little bit better. So since he's stiff, I have to give it up early there. The minute he moves, I got to let go. That was better. He's a little sticky, so I'm up on top of him and I'm flexing the offside bridle away from me. Great exercise. Now towards me. Or excuse me, and then away from me. You know, go both ways. There we go. Towards me. That was nice. So work on flexing his head where he's used to you standing on one side and you can flex it left or right up on top. So I'm flexing it away from me. So he's flexing it to his left. I'm on his right side. He's better on that side. You see he flexes better on the left away than he does to the right. Great job. Cool him down. Give him a big love. He loves to bury his head in my chest. I love that. This is just bonding moments saying he did such a great job today. He really did. Sounds like my wife come in. I just love a horse that's so comfortable with you, being able to hold them and hold them tight. It's just a great bonding moment. You can see how much I'm just sitting out here doing the same thing. Spend the time. Keep telling you, my dad said, don't get in a big hurry. This is where you don't want to get in a big hurry. And the more prep I can give him on the ground to simulate me riding him before we get on, the less issues we have. And I've seen this horse buck. I've seen this horse kick. I know what he is what his potential is, and I don't want to see that anymore. I want him thinking like he has all day today rather than reacting. A lot of times we get in a big hurry. We get out here and we'll jump right on them, or pull on them, or we won't spend the time till they get comfortable. And that works, I want to say, for a lot of horses. It really does, and you can do that. But where I have a customer's horse and it's already hot and reactive, I want to do all I can to ensure that this horse is gentle and calm. So we're just going to move the stirrups, hang on it, hang on it. I want to make sure that I'm not teaching it any bad habits, so that, when they get on this horse, it goes right into thinking mode, not reactive mode. There's a motorcycle going by now, and it started spooking the horse here. You can hear the motorcycle in the background. And great timing. It's not quite to think about that motorcycle. The neighbors are running a motorcycle and popping wheelies, and he all of a sudden gets uncomfortable. And since he's going to walk off on me because of that, I'm going to move his feet. But that's a great example of what I want to prepare him for. That's why I got music playing. That's why I do different things. I want him to hear all sorts of strange noises, and that was a great teaching exercise. Oh, now my granddaughter's playing the piano downstairs, sorry. She's 3, she's so cute, she loves to ride horses. Yesterday she demanded she got a horse ride, so I had to go out and saddle up Cash and put her up in the saddle and give her a ride all by herself. She don't want to be up there with Grandpa anymore. She just wants me to lead them, and she loves horses. Her dad's got some horses, and she just thinks being a cowgirl is awesome. And just keep enjoying them. Spend the day, spend the time. Yeah, my health with a bad neck and a bad back. I'm not as crazy as I used to be anymore, and all the other issues I got going on. So I just really make sure that I am taking every precaution to have these horses prepped perfectly. And be honest, it really turns out good horses. I mean, the ones I've done have just been so smooth and soft, and I just can't say enough how you get them that way. People ask me, how do you get your horse so soft? And how do you get them to be your friends? And how do you get them to be your buddy? And I do more of that on the ground than I ever do on their back. When they get with, horses work each other. They nip, they bite, they push, they become the king. But they all do it on the ground, and that's where they're used to it. So that's where I can get the most progress on getting a horse just as soft and supple. So now he's walking off a little bit on me, so I'm just going to stay with him. Just keep hanging. Even though he walked around and I couldn't take the bucket with me, I can still hang on the saddle till he holds still. And I'm not going to let go till he holds still. Now I'll go right back to it. Step up on the stirrup. Now you can walk off. I'm on your side. Go ahead, walk off. I'm just going to still stay there till you hold still. Then I'll come down. Love a horse that'll stand still while you mount him. I hate chasing a horse trying to get on him, or the minute you get on him, take off on you. I want him used to me getting on him and getting off of him, and that's where he's going to get his relief. He doesn't know if I'm going to get on and ride, or if I'm going to get on and stand, or if I'm going to get on and flex him left and right. Mix it up. Mix it up. Well, now you've seen getting him really prepared for the horse ride, hopefully tomorrow. The weather's good, the snow doesn't come, the mud doesn't come, Enjoy your horse, stay safe, and let me come back tomorrow on the same video and see if we can ride him.
Just the weather just wasn't holding out, and we got a lot of rain, and that's what happens when you do in the spring. So I didn't get all the time in on him, but he was really having a hard time with me getting on and off his back. And so rather than push it that much, just to even get up there, he'd get spooky. Uh, I changed routes here, you can see. So my whole theory here is let's start putting him in a pack saddle. Let's get more things on his back. Let's start putting weight on his back. Let's start seeing if we can get some of that reactiveness out of him. So I wanted a saddle that has a breast strap and a tail strap and a couple cinches tied around him. And just the more you handle a horse, the better they do. And so here I'm putting on the pack saddle. He's used to a normal saddle. He'll take a normal saddle, but there's a lot more rigging, a lot more straps. It looks totally different to him, um, and he's not going to be comfortable with this because every saddle that I changed, every color I change, every hair I change on this horse, he's very reactive, and you can see he's reactive to the pack saddle, just being tied up here. So I'm pulling the cinch tight here a little bit on the front. Now I always do cinches in 3 times. I pull it a little bit snug, then I move on, then I come back and snug it up, and before I ever load a horse with a pack saddle, I make sure I always 3 times, even with my riding saddle, I want to make sure I pull it cinch 3 times. Why do I do that? I don't want to make him cinchy. I mean, I could sit here and crank on it until I have it as tight as I want it, but they'll blow, they'll do everything. I don't want them focusing on me cranking on a cinch. So I'll snug it up and just start working him here. You can see he's antsy. He's not used to all this, so I'm just not going to push him that hard. Just let him get used to that cinch on that pack saddle and something a little bit different. Rub it away. Now I got the cinch on him. I got it. The cinch is tight. Just let him get used to that a minute. This is totally new to him. He's gonna, here we're gonna put the breast strap around the front. He sees that flop and hasn't seen that flop like that on, and you can go back and look at the videos. He started that way with the normal saddle, but then he got used to it, and that's how he is. Any change, any reactive change, he struggles with. So don't get in a hurry. Listen to your tunes. Be a little bit silly. Give him a heart attack. I like to give a horse a heart attack. They're free. Give him all he wants. Get used to it. So now I'm going to snap this breast collar around him. Make him feel a little bit more claustrophobic. Make him feel like he's tied in. That's a different feel for him. I'm just watching him, see how he reacts. Now let's pull it over his butt a little bit here. Get him used to that flopping around his tail end. See, he doesn't know if he wants that to go over his tail end. I knew he'd be that reactive, so I pushed a little bit on one side. I'll come the other side, kind of pull it down a little bit. Be careful, stay to the side. You notice how I stay back and to the side because he will kick. I know this horse will kick, so I want to make sure I'm always looking at my safety first. Letting that just kind of fall down around his behind. Doesn't have to be perfect until he gets used to it. I don't want to get behind him, so I'm just going to cut him loose and let that start flopping on him a little bit. Let him get a little bit different feel. And you can see he's getting a little reactive. Not too bad, but it is different to him. See him slip right there? That's why I'm not getting on when it's wet. You imagine being on his back when it's wet and they slip like that, you just ask for disaster. So make sure it's really dry. I've been hauling in sand, but it just doesn't always work. So now I'm just going to take my time, have some fun, enjoy the music, kick on back, and let him get used to the pack saddle. Oh, I love pack saddles. I've packed a lot of elk on pack saddles. My brother's packed a ton of elk, packing in and out. I just love a horse that can handle a pack saddle, and knowing how to pack a good double diamond is key. You can use a single diamond, but I really like a double diamond. It really locks in a load, you know. So I'm just out here enjoying it. And I let him run for a long time. I've did more video editing lately because I know how brutal they're getting. But I really let him run a long time with the pack saddle on. Yeah, let him get reactive. Little change of direction. The more change of direction you can do with them, the better off you are. So just enjoy the music, do a little air guitar, kick on back and enjoy it, and have patience. It's really wet saddles and time is what I find. The more wet saddles and time you put in, the better off you are. You know, he's watching me there. He's paying attention. He's turning like he should. So I'm just going to let him enjoy the pack saddle for a while. The biggest thing I can do is not get in a hurry. Dad always yelled at fixed cars. Don't get in a hurry. Don't get in a hurry. Everything you do, you get in a hurry. When you get in a hurry, you make mistakes. Uh, that's one saying that really hits home with me is don't get in a big hurry. Dad said it over and over and over. I miss the old man, but uh, it's true. People want to race and get on horses, take them faster than they should, and that's why I'm going to the pack saddle, is because I don't want to get in a big hurry and get on him and let him start bucking on me. Because every time I get on, he just instantly started heating up on me, and I knew he wanted to buck. So I'm like, let's not get in a big hurry. Let's take him slow. So crank your tunes, apologize to your neighbors, but keep them loud. I love them loud. I wish I could take tunes up elk hunting, but it'd scare the elk. But I'd love to crank tunes. It makes me feel so much better. It gets my mind off my pain, my back, and I just enjoy the music, enjoy what's going on. Good exercise. Get out here and just move a little bit. There he's asking me, he wants to come in, so I said, okay, come on in. If you want to calm down, come in. I let him come in to me. I really like that there where he's looking for relief. He's looking for an answer. He says, okay, I'm starting to get the pack saddle, little man. So I look at it, check it out. I love how he's following me here and is connected. I love the connection, but I still want to send him off and just make sure he's not reacting. Uh, Keep that pack saddle going, let him get comfortable. A horse like this, the only thing you can do is time. You're not going to go faster than he wants to go. All you're going to get is train wreck. So just take your time. Glove to act crazy, make him think I'm going to do anything, jump. Get him used to me being silly. He stops on his own. I'm going to look at him. I'm going to watch him. I want to see what he's going to do here. He didn't come to me, so I said, okay, keep on going. If you don't want to come in for relief, I'm not going to let you stand at the fence. I'll always let him come to me, but if he's just going to stand there, see how he stands there, wants to stand there with the horses, I won't let him do that very long. I want to see what he wants to do. And now he's feeling pretty calm with the pack saddle. So now we're going to double check tightness. Remember I told you I always check the cinches, especially before I pack. I'm tightening it up because they do loosen up. So I'm making sure it's tight. The worst thing I could do is have this pack saddle roll on me. Roll underneath him, have a train wreck, have the pack saddle come loose. Oh, that'd just be horrible. It's not safe for him. It's not safe for me. Now I got to introduce him to these panniers. He hasn't seen panniers before. These are empty panniers. He's going nuts with them because they smell different. They've had elk in them. They got scents and smells, and he's just not used to that. And like I said, even every saddle pad I put on him, he changes to. So I'm letting him get a good whiff of the panniers. And we're going to approach and retreat, just like we did anything else. If you don't know approach and retreat by now, I don't know what to tell you. So approach and retreat, approach and retreat. I put him on him. Oh, he hates it. See that? Now I'm going to get after him because it's not tight on and I don't want to pull him off. So I'm going to really get after him here. I'm yelling at him. I want him to stand still. He knows better when I yell at him to stand still. But you see how he doesn't like that pannier. Now imagine me getting on him. He's going to do the same thing with me getting on him. As wild as he's being here, that's why I haven't got on him yet. I keep getting up on him, but that's why I haven't ridden. He doesn't like me up there at all. I can't sit on him. I feel him blowing up the minute I start putting my leg across, and I have to get back off. And so I get after him. I'm just going to let him sit here with that pannier on. Worst thing I could do, though, is push him too far where he bucks and makes it come off. Because once he knows he can make it come off, you're just asking for more work. So I'm going to try to rub it away here. I'm going to try to calm him down a little bit. Now I'm going to try to introduce him to the other pannier. I'm going to watch his rear end because he will kick. He's not afraid to kick. He's not afraid to buck in the rear. I've showed you that in other videos. I want to get him less reactive. And the more things I can do to him, the better off I am. So just want to rub things away, get ready. Picking up a little baling twine. I'm going to use it to tie down the panniers when I get them on there because I do not want the panniers to come off. So I'm getting everything ready. Letting him get used to the pannier on that side. Going to come over to this side. Always remember your safety. Stay distance. Stay distance. Especially on a horse that not only does he kick, he aims. He does not like things on his back. Took me a while to get the other saddle and blanket, so now I'm going to just go up slow. Hook up these panniers. Try to be safe. Get it on the back.
We're gonna side on. He's calmed down a little bit, so I feel comfortable. So now I'm gonna make a loop. Put that loop across the horns on the pack saddle. I like a cross buck more than I do a decker. We've got some deckers, but they seem to roll. I like a cross buck. They really work better. I like the dual straps rather than single straps, so they're dual cinches. So make sure if you're going to do a pack saddle, I recommend a dual cinch. Nice, I'm going to take a loop around the forks, get it all nice and tight. Last thing I want these panniers to do is have him buck them off, because that's not going to do me any good if he learns that by bucking and kicking I can get rid of a load. Because he'll do the same to you, and I don't want to be the load he wants to get rid of. Take your time, make sure you do it right, always watch for your safety. Like how he's sitting here for me though. Now that's what I was talking about right there when I was talking about your safety. You see how he's kicking, he doesn't like it, so I'm going to get into it. Been seriously hurt. I got a little complacent there. But now I'm going to get after him, slow him down, because he does not like these panniers flapping and snapping. So I'm going to show you that again. This is what happens when you don't pay attention. You have to be very careful at all times of a horse that will kick. So make sure you do like I did, come out to the side, not just go behind him, leave some distance. And though he calmed down here, you saw he wasn't calm when we first put him on, and he doesn't like him. So here I'm walking away, and you see how he plants those feet, and I make sure I stay plenty of distance away from him. Always think of safety first, because he does get up with both feet. He doesn't just do one, he gets both of them out of there. You see how antsy he is and how he's kicking. He doesn't like this at all. That's how reactive he is. So when he gets reactive, I'm going to get after him. He knows well enough now that I don't take this from him. So I'm going to be very, very, just as reactive as he is. And I'm screaming at him, I'm yelling at him. I'm going to force him to calm down. You also notice I leave him some lead rope to go. Because if you remember back, this is exactly what we saw. 2 feet in the air when we put the bag on him and the saddle on him. He didn't like that. He didn't, and he reared up. He didn't like that. So he does not like things on his back. And it took me a while to get over just a regular saddle. See that? And so it's no different with pack saddle. Let's change. So now I'm going to cut him loose. I'm going to get out of the way because I know he's going to go. And now we're going to let him figure out these panniers. He's going to get a lot of excitement. A little slick out there. Remember I told you we've had a lot of snow and rain. See him sliding. This is while I'm doing it because I'm not in the mood to get on him when he's this reactive. I know I can climb up a little bit on his back. I can tell he's just going nuts when I get up there. See him slide on that even though I put the sand down. He's getting through that sand down into the mud. Now, my job is just to have patience and make sure he doesn't hurt himself. I don't have to drive him. He's got enough energy. I don't have to use a whip. I don't have to use anything. Just listen to music. He's going to get excited. He's got the horses next to me all excited. Old Cash and Little Red are going nuts. Cash is kicking in the air. There he's kicking. He just wants those off his back. He does. This horse does not like things on his right side. He does better on the left, but to have things on both sides at once, it's just traumatizing to him. So I let him go for a while. Saves you the pain and agony of seeing it all. He's still very reactive. Just listen to your tunes. Little Bob Seger action going on. Never heard anything that little Bob Seger going on right now. On the road again. It's kind of what I felt like. We're on the road again. I want this saddle to get good and wet. I want that pad to get good and wet. I'm going to ask him to turn. See if he's even going to listen to me yet. He stopped, but he didn't really turn. He doesn't think well. Once he starts getting reactive, all that round penning drills that he knows kind of goes out of his head. So now I'm just going to get my lead rope. I love how he's following me out. I changed his mind. He says, he really know I should stop. I like that. So he's not quite sure what he wants to do, so I'm going to watch him. He says I'd rather be reactive and run, so I'm going to let him run. I'm going to ask if he wants to come in now. He's been running for a while. He's stopped. He's not really coming into me like he should. But I want to hook up to him, so I'm going to go ahead and hook up to him a little bit. He's been reactive, so I want to get a little bit of control of him. I'm just fixing things up a little bit. I'm working on the saddle, on the pannier straps. He's very reactive to the pannier straps, so I'm going to have to work on that too. But I like how he's standing for me. He's straight now. So I'm just going to let him stand there and figure it out. You don't always have to push him. If he'll relax, let that jury work. So I'm letting him have his reward right now by just relaxing. He's really not at me, but I'm not worried about me right now and all the stuff we worked on previously. I'm going to ask him to move out. That was his rest. That was his reward. You see, he's got his ears pinned back. He's kicking out again, sliding in the mud. All reactiveness. Love how he's slowing down there a little bit and saying, you know what, I'd rather come to you and I'd rather slow down. He's looking at me and what I want him to do, so I'm going to let him reward by standing there. I'm going to ask him to turn. I'm going to drive him off. He says, I'd rather come back. I says, no. Pick up my stick and string so I can drive him off a little bit better. But I like how he's standing there. But I don't want him really to stand there a long time. I'd rather have him with me or up close to me. So I'm asking him to move, and he says, do I really have to? And I love that in him. His feet are starting to get stuck in cement. See that? I'm like, no, no, turn the way I want you to go and go. It's awesome when a horse's feet starts getting stuck in cement in reactive. That's a good sign to see. I want them just to anchor their feet in cement. So I've been driving him, still driving him. And this is something we're going to have to do for, 7 days or so to get him really comfortable with pack saddling. He's not a horse I can do it in a day or 2 days, generally 3 days at the most. This horse is going to take me the 7 days, or, he takes time to get comfortable with something. He seems to, once he gets it, he's okay, but it takes him a while to get there. So I'll do it every day, night after night after night, until to him it's just like feeding time. See him slow down, want to stop. I'm not going to stop the horses. I'm going to drive him on. I want his relaxation point to where I want it to be, not where he wants it to be. Let's see if he'll turn. Nope, he stopped, but he didn't turn like he should. So I'm going to drive his rear end because he's wanting to turn the wrong direction. I'm going to ask him, he's turning the wrong direction. I'm not going to fight it right now. I'm just more interested in the saddle, so I'm going to put some energy into him because he really didn't listen to me, so I'm just going to put more energy into him. Going to yell at my horse. He's just all worked up and working my other ear lean, and when he does that, I should separate him, but turn the wrong way, so I'm going to get after him a little bit, make him start thinking better. Put more energy into him because he is not really responsive to me. He's responding to the other horses. I want him to his eyes on me. I always want two eyeballs on me. I don't like that rear end. See how he turned the wrong way? I don't like that. So I'm going to force him to go the other way again. He's just not thinking. He's still just being reactive. Even though we've been on there half hour, 40 minutes, he's still just being reactive. So I'm just going to make him get that energy out and just keep the energy going. I'm going to turn him back and forth, back and forth. The more turns I put into him, the more he has to think. I'm going to ask him to turn to me, though, see if he'll start listening. Turn to me. Turn to me. Come to me. He's wanting to turn away. Nope, he's not going to do it, so I'm just going to try. See him kick out at me. It's disrespectful. So I'm going to put some energy at him. So now I'm just letting him free with pack saddle. Just let him do what he wants. Just to get used to it. I stay close, and I just want to bring some grain out and just get him to relax with the pack saddle because he's been, with those panniers, he's been so reactive. I just want him to say, hey, it's okay. I can have a reward. I can be in the middle where I'm supposed to be and still keep these on my back. Just ignore.
Up, up,
So now I'm calling him in.
up,
I like how he's coming to
up.
me. I see how worked up he is. You can see the lather on him. That's what I wanted. I wanted good lather. I wanted a worked up horse. I want wet saddle pads. He's been fighting this for an hour. It's time to calm him down. Just let him sit with the pack saddle on. Yeah, he takes time to get used to things. You're not going to do it in a day. You're not going to do it in 10 minutes. This horse is time, energy, correct knowledge. It's not luck. I wish training a horse was luck, but it's labor under correct knowledge. You got to have put in the labor. You got to have the correct knowledge. Now I'm going to yield his rear end. Just going to go back to all the drills we worked on beforehand, just like you would without the pack saddle. You'll see if he'll do them. As you can see, he's being very reactive. I'm doing a little circle drive or lead from the side here. Try to get his rear end to yield. He doesn't want to yield. I'm going to get after him. I'm going to point. I'm going to walk. Do a little C pattern change in here from the side, a little circle driving. I want him to get his mind on me and off the pack saddle. He's having a hard time. See how worked up and lathered he is? I still want to see if he'll go back to his normal drills. Not acting too good, but that's okay. They'll get better with something on him. Always, this is my desensitizing process. He's been sensitized all day with this pack saddle, so I want to just go back and reward the desensitizing, and just like it's meant to be there, and do your drills, do your exercises. And lead from the side here is an excellent one. That circle drive, that pattern where he's watching me, he's looking for me to take cues from. He's not watching the panniers flapping. I stop, he stops. I'm going to back him up. He doesn't want to back up. I'm going to work him a little bit. Say, come on, there we go. Now we got a little bit of back up. Now I'm going to ask him to come to me, just like you do without any pack saddle on. Go through your same little exercises. Get used to being handled saddled. Like I said, just the regular saddle wasn't enough. Didn't calm him down, so we're just going to keep increasing the pressure. Well, hope you enjoyed this one. Watch the next videos. He's settling down, so I'm going to move on for the day. Have a great night and enjoy your horse.